Good morning. This is Kim Watson speaking on Friday, the 17th of June. Okay, Charlie's away, so I'll try and get us a bit of live trading going on this morning. I've at the moment running two trading rooms, so I've got the Pivot Trader room running. I've got our normal trading room running. But what I'm looking for at the moment is a potential move down towards its daily pivot. If it hits the daily pivot and gives me any sort of reversal, I may be looking for a retracement back to its 8 o'clock move. Likewise, if it runs back up to the 8 o'clock pivot first, I'll be looking for a retracement back down to the daily pivot. So it's all about probability here. Both have a good probability of being hit. So I'd like to see both of them hit. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. So just put this onto pause and then I'll come back. So just looking at a potential short opportunity here. The only thing back down towards that daily pivot, I'd then look at taking most off at the pivot just to watch it. It's not got a massive target. That's the problem with the downside. But I take a small position into it in a moment and play both ways. Give it a go. But it'll be probably most likely an all out into the pivot, and then see if we can. Here we go. I'm just clicking. I'm just taking a small position here. It's just broken the lows here. There is the potential, of course, it'll bounce here and run upwards. So stops. I'm only putting a relatively tight stop on this. So there is the risk, but it's stalling going upwards. So let's see if we can play it to the downside. So starting to break down, just looking elsewhere to see what else we got. We have got a 60-21 in the way here, but hopefully the daily pivot will have enough oomph to get there. We just touched that now. Just hopefully that the daily it will run through that into the daily pivot. A bit of an overrun would be good, but it's looking like it's having a little reaction. This is probably the time when you get the full reaction. It's just to have a look at a composite price level here and see what's happening elsewhere and see if we've seen a spike into that daily pivot. No, we haven't. That's all right. Now, yesterday we just saw it run through its daily pivot and off it went to the races, and that was that. But I'm not expecting such a move this morning, but you never know what happens to these markets. I have been aggressive, and I've just moved my stop down, tracking back through this, because if it bounces off this, well, that could be it. So I'm just tracking the stop down a little bit on this. So I've only got around about 6 pip stop on it now to as it started pushing down. So I just tightened the stop up. I mean, it may just go from here, which be rather annoying, but that's the market sometimes. Yeah, it's just been brought to my attention that we've got the cable running up towards the trend line here, which it could trigger me into a long trade from there. I'm looking at the bigger picture here. We've got this sort of bull flag running on. If it runs into that, would be looking for a retest of the highs, maybe pushing into the R1 and then the 200. So I've got a few targets above that. Now, cable's held up a lot better than the euro this morning, but it may not be long before I get stopped on my little euro trade. It's an attempt to try and capture something, but it looks like cable really wants to push on this morning. As I said, I brought the stop down pretty tightly on the euro there, so it's sitting just around about 5 or 6 pips there. 5.8 pips, so it's not far above. Okay, I'm looking now at buying into the cable, but I'm just waiting a moment to see what happens. I'm just it's breaking the trend line here, which is running okay, but just watching the price action. Got orders ready for the long side on cable now as well, so it has caught its 8 o'clock pivot already, so it's a bit more lively there. In terms of triggering, I'll probably just wait and see if we trigger the R1, the 4 hourly R1 which gives me the R2 as the sort of an initial uh, target on the pound dollar there. At the moment it's selling off, which is I would have thought would be good for my euro trade, but it's euro's being a bit stubborn, bouncing off that 60.20. So just looking like euro may stop me out here in just a moment. It's pretty close to my stops, just above that prior candle there. I just brought it down as the price was running down. It's sitting behind the 5.8 really effectively, but not looking good at the moment on the euro. It was a risky trade, yes. The only thing is it hasn't really set up me for the long side here. I am looking still, just to remind you. Okay, that's not gone there yet. I'm looking at cable. I'm going to flick back. I'm not going to watch the euro position. I'm going to watch what's going on here. Yes, I'm just looking for a break of this R1. Now the reason why is we're in this sort of bull flag sort of pattern here. It's looking bullish. I just want to go with where the move is going. The move to me looks like it's pushing up here at the moment. So if it can break this R1, I'll be with it. It's a very simple basis, but it's had a decent move throughout. Euro, just to let you know there, just got stopped out at -6 pips, so small loss, and unfortunately I haven't really got an entry from this point. It didn't come down to where I wanted it to be, so I'm sitting without an entry on the euro at the moment. It has done a little pivot swing, and arguably you could buy in on that, but I'm really now going to focus just on one pair for a moment, hopefully, and see if we can get something out of the pound. So cable's teasing at this point here. Whether it will break for me is another matter. So is it going to go this time? And just watching, still watching cable. Now, of course, it could just run into these highs here and roll. Looking for the sort of bigger movement on cable from here. So need to put in a proper stop in terms of price expectation. There's 22 pips up to the prior highs sort of region, some in that region. So I'll be aiming for that initially. Then I'm running into quite a bit of resistance. So just waiting, see if it triggers. Keep on switching recording back on, hoping that it's going to trigger at any moment. So see if it works this time, if it pushes on. Okay, just taking a long here. So in the market long, 12 pip stop on this. Let's see where we go. Looking for the, as I say, towards the R2 area here. And there's quite a lot of, there's a monthly pivot around that sort of area as well. There's prior highs, so it makes sense to take out a reasonable amount of the trade for me on a day like this, that level. Just looking at the open positions, open orders that are sitting above cable where it's sitting at the moment. We've got this sort of net bearish sort of signal here, but we have got quite a nice range of buy stops sitting just above that R2. So if it does get a little wiggle on pushing through these orders here, it may just take those out. It may just get a bit of overrun into the R2. So if I'm sitting here at the point when this gets reached, I'd be looking for a little bit of overrun possibly into that. These buy orders, most likely to be the stops from short positions that are taken. There's the R2 here, so there's probably stops sitting around anyone that's taken shorts from these sort of higher levels that ran through the Asian session, potentially anyway, or after that point, but they maybe have looked at that as a short opportunity. So yeah, at the moment, just hanging in there. Okay, back to my desk. Just watching this cable move. Euro's pushed up nicely from its and run through targets earlier on. Seeing cable running up, I'm going to have to take my daughter to school in a short while. So what I might do is just take the profit at the top there because I've just got to go. So I'm just very wary of what's going on here with the euro as well. I may have to put a limit order in very shortly. I would like to see a bigger target. There's a few targets I was looking at. The ultimate target for me here really is that 200 MA, and I may just leave. In fact, what I may do is just bring the stop up a little bit before I go. I've got to go about now, and just put the order in and see if we can get a push up. I'm just looking at sitting at 43.18. I am very aware of the 4LE. I know it's too high for the R3, would come into play before then and may stifle this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an order in, a limit order in. It's a little bit beyond where I was looking maybe, and just see if I can take some profit out on the limit order here. Now this could run and run, but this is the thing, when you've got to go somewhere, you've got to go. So I'm going to put a limit order in and I've got to go. So back shortly. Sorry guys, I've taken 4/5 off here. I've managed to get that out. 4/5 off here. I'm just going to leave the other piece and stop to break even at this level. So 24 pips off that, and pausing. So a bit of a change of plan here. I've closed the whole position out. I'm getting an oversold signal coming through. Just getting an oversold signal coming in, just flashing in and out a little bit here. I've closed the whole position out, so I've come out of the position. Now this may disappear. It's flicking at the moment, but I've decided to close the whole position on that basis. So that's it for me for now. Back later. So what I'm going to do is just briefly, now back from school, is just do, or school trip should I say, not personally going to school, just do a quick overview of the trades that we took this morning. Euro went short, looking for the daily pivot. It still may be hit at some point today. It has a high probability, nearly 80% chance of being hit, so hence why I was quite happy to short earlier on and bring the stop down quite tight behind it. Just never happened at that point, but well, maybe it could still happen. So not much else to do there. It has pushed up. It did almost get overbought, but never did. I've got the indicator on here. It never did get overbought. Well, it's just sitting there consolidating at the moment. Do have a feeling that it's maybe one of those slower days. Now, cable, just looking at what happened. I was watching the price action beforehand. This bar that was pointed out when it was coming up at 8:10 came up pretty quick and strong, and it broke through its sort of an inflection point where you get this sort of continuation of a move sometimes. It just broke through my signal line and just triggered interest. And I was looking at the break earlier on. I mentioned in the update that I did that there was a potential break here, and I was looking at that. And then when you looked at the order book, bring the order book into view. Let's just update this, refresh it. Good. Okay, and what we can see here is leading into that time, we had this. Got a lot of it here actually, but we had this was the nice upward bar. We did have sell orders sitting above us, which you would expect to be resistance, but as I said, we had this this clump of buys. Now whenever a price starts pushing up towards a clump of buys, there's always that chance that it may just want to go up there and take out the orders. Now those buys were probably from earlier shorts, so it's probably just closed the shorts off there, and it's literally, by the looks of it, it's picture perfect into that bigger clump and just rolled over, and they've just been selling into the strength there effectively of that move, and it's pulled off quite quickly. As I said, it was a bit fortunate that I was getting a at that time. Let's come back to the 5 minute. At that time, I was just getting a little bit of a flashing of an overbought signal at that point. So it just gave me I thought I may as well just exit the whole trade as opposed to I brought the stop to break even on the, I'd taken 4/5 off, brought the stop to break even, but it was no point trying to be too clever at that point. And I mean, the thing is, the stop would have been taken out on this retracement anyway, as it happened. It's always when I get the oversold signal, or overbought signal, always a chance of it coming back to the 521, 520, which was way below. So as it said, it didn't hold in the signal. It just flashed, which was fortunate for me at that time, because the last fifth would have been stopped anyway. As I was saying in the room a moment ago, it did look, and as I was saying, it started moving down immediately, but it does look like it may still push up here for some more upside. But there's not coming back to the order book, there's not a lot really of resistance above the immediate area now. He says, although the order flow started building up negativity, a negative even, almost immediately it went down there. We started seeing a switch between the sell orders started coming back in here, but if the market pushes through all these sell orders, to me it's just as institutional, there's bigger buying going on. And in which case beyond here it's pretty thin. There's no one way or the other in terms of resistance, or even carrots effectively of buy orders to push it on. So it could drift up higher this morning. And the bigger pattern to me, as I said earlier on, was bullish, hence why the trade of a very simple break trade this morning relatively, but with a target in mind. But this sort of bullish factor really gave me the opportunity to go long. So that's pretty much where I'm going to stop the recording today. So net 6 pips lost on the euro dollar there, then 24, and I think a bit less on this last part there. Yeah, it's the 5.19 on the last part for me on the last fifth, so I came out in the end. So yeah, productive morning there for now, and we may get some more trades, but this, as I say, this is where I'm going to end this recording.